Crossing now to the Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull, who's speaking in Canberra.
This was the first act of chemical warfare in Europe since the Second World War. It was a calculated attempt to carry out an assassination. It was a disgraceful assault on the sovereignty of the United Kingdom and on the rule of law, and we utterly condemn it. As the United Kingdom authorities have made clear since, this was a fundamental breach of international law, prohibiting the use of chemical weapons. Russia has an obligation under the Chemical Weapons Convention and the United Nations Charter. The fact that Russia is a member of the United Nations Security Council, the body tasked with ensuring global security, makes this breach of international law especially dangerous and shocking. It reflects a pattern of recklessness and aggression by the Russian government, including the annexation of Crimea, the invasion of the eastern Ukraine, the downing of MH17, cyber attacks and efforts to manipulate Western nations' elections. This latest incident demanded a response and has received a concerted international response from the United Kingdom's allies and partners around the world. To do nothing would only encourage further efforts to undermine the international rules-based order upon which our security and our prosperity rely. Now, as I said when introducing new foreign interference legislation into the House of Representatives last year, Russia is threatening the democratic world right around the world. There are credible reports that Russia was actively undermining the integrity of the Brexit referendum, last year's presidential elections in France, Catalonia's unauthorised referendum in Spain, and in the United States, one of the oldest and certainly the most formidable democracy in the world. Debate is raging about whether Russian intelligence operations may have tipped the presidential election. Now, the Foreign Minister and I want to stress that Australia has no dispute with the Russian people. Indeed, today we offer our condolences for the devastating fire that has killed scores of people in a shopping centre in the Siberian city of Kemerovo. This is about the actions of the Russian government, and it's about our national security interests, which we will always defend. We cannot and will not stand by and watch when the sovereignty of our allies and partners is threatened, and that's why we're taking this strong action today. It reflects our values as a nation, respecting the rule of law, adhering to international conventions and rules-based order, and upholding our own sovereignty as well as supporting the sovereignty of our allies and partners. This type of activity is one of the key reasons why we've prioritised laws to disrupt and prosecute foreign interference and covert behaviour, and we call on the Parliament to pass these laws once they're through the current committee process. The brazen attack, the criminal attack in the United Kingdom, in Salisbury, on the 4th of March, was an attack on all of us. It was an attack on the sovereignty of every nation that respects the rule of law, and that is why we are taking this action today. With another 23 nations around the world, we are defying this recklessness, this lawlessness of Russia, and expressing in solidarity with the United Kingdom and other nations that share those values that we will not tolerate this type of reckless undermining of international law, this reckless assault on the sovereignty of nations.